Good evening, everyone, and welcome back to Zennie62 live vlogs. I know Zennie is doing his stream right now. Fine. But welcome. Tonight we're going to talk about something a little different that we normally don't talk about, but it would be something, interesting to talk about. And, it's something interesting tonight. I've never really talked about this. I talked about it a little bit, but, I want to talk about it. And so, being a Denver native, and I want to get your input. Y'all live in the U.S. Who should Denver host the Olympics? That's the first question we need to ask is, should Denver host the Olympics? And if Denver should, what impact would it be on the city? Yeah. I've never talked about this, but I'd like to talk about it. Olympics are going on right now. They're having the opening ceremony tomorrow morning. And, this is something that should be on people's minds. Now, Denver is trying to bid for the 2026 Winter Olympics, or 2030. They're trying to host, and I think that, it would be very interesting, the impact that it would have on the city of Denver and the state of Colorado, would be tremendous. They're in early parts of hosting, of trying to get the Olympic Games, but, there's things that we should look at. Let me go to Google Maps. There's things that are interesting that, we need to think about. So, like venues, where would they be? What facilities does Denver need to build to host the Olympics? What do they need to build? Really. And, the Olympics are a great thing. I love the Olympics. But, there are things that we need to do in order to host. And, I'll list those things out. One thing that I think is nice is Denver will only have to build 3 Olympic facilities for the Winter Games. And I'll tell you that right now. I'll tell you that right now. Hold on. Hold on. Trying to get there. Trying to get it. Can't find it. Oh shoot. But they're trying to host it's 2026 or 2023 or 2030, and they're looking at towns that would be eligible and things that would need to get done in order to host. And, what better way to kick off the Winter Olympics than to discuss, potential host cities. Denver, I've lived here my whole life, and it has crazy amount, gets good amounts of snow not every day, but it's amounts of snow. And, there are towns in the mountains and, in the Denver metro that can, have events. In Denver, Sports Authority Field, Mile High Stadium would have the opening and closing ceremonies. The Pepsi Center would host the hockey. I think their convention center space would host the I don't know. Would do the not hockey, but curling, or the ice skating rinks. And then you can go to Vail, and you got Vail, Georgetown, Breckenridge. You got all these towns that would be great. I mean, really great cities to host. And I mean, there's so many cities, towns, mountain towns. There's only 3 things that Denver would need to build in order to host, and they're all pointing towards private funding for the stadium, for everything. And which would be great. Denver's got the transit for it. The airport is the largest by area in the United States. Top 10 busiest airports in the U.S., I think. Yeah, in the U.S. Well, top 5 in the U.S., top 10 in the world. And then there's so many things that Denver is capable of that I think would be great. I mean, it would just be awesome. And, Denver is a great city. I've lived here my entire life. We get snow, but not as much as the mountains. Denver could host the things that wouldn't go in the mountains necessarily. Like the Pepsi Center would host the ice skating or hockey. Denver Convention Center would host the curling. Things that Denver could do, I think would benefit the city in the long run. World-class airport. They have really good transportation. The only 2 things that needs to be addressed is I-70 and I-25. I-25's, the main highway interstate through Denver. It goes around the Denver, downtown Denver, and it's something that we need to look at. I-70 would need to be expanded to, they would need to be expanded a lot, because I-70 is only a 4-lane highway, and it's a good highway, don't get me wrong. It's just that, it's it's a good highway, but they need to expand to include traffic going in and going up for the Olympics, Olympic teams going up. I-70 is only 4 lanes, and they really can expand. They might be able to, but who knows? I have no clue. It's, hey, John Marks, how you doing? Denver within itself is great. The Olympics, I think, would be a great thing for Denver. They've hosted things before that are larger than the Winter Olympics. They've hosted the X Games. Another thing they've hosted they host the Western Stock Show. And, I was watching something, I was getting more information on what it would take Denver to host. And, one thing that I saw was that the Western Stock Show is actually a little bit bigger than the Olympics. Western Stock Show, we get 700,000 people, spectators. But for the Winter Olympics, there's only 500,000, according to, in Vancouver, there's only 500,000. And you compare that to the National Western Stock Show, and, that has... No, he is not John Marks. I typed that. I'm kind of posing as him. So, we've got 2 live streams going tonight, John. We've got 2 live streams. So, but there's so many great things that Denver can do. We're trying to aim for the Super Bowl, but also for the Olympics. We're also trying to aim for the NFL draft. But, the Olympics, John Marks says Denver gets the Olympic Games right. Yes, they don't have all the facilities like Salt Lake City does. But, Denver does have most of the facilities. There's things that, yes, Denver does need. There's only 3 facilities. 3 facilities that Denver would need to build the stadium. And, this is something that is awesome. Denver has hosted many big events, and the Olympics are just another thing. Look what we do every year for the National Western Stock Show. I mean, it's massive. A lot of spectators. But now we're looking at Olympics, which is bigger but fewer people. And I mean, there's a lot of people that come to the National Western Stock Show, and Denver's very capable. And the airport is big enough. I think it would be great. It would be really great. And I'm looking here, and we're trying to bid, and there are still people that are looking back at the past. What happened in 1970 when environmentalists and people and um, politicians in 1970 that said, no, we can't, and gave it away. I think that was a bad idea. Denver people are still looking back at the past and what happened, and we need to look forward. Denver has changed a lot in 45 years. It's changed a lot. I mean, it's grown. There's a lot more people in the Denver metro, and, people moving to mountain towns and the Rocky Mountains. The Rocky Mountains are what make Colorado iconic here in the States. Colorado's known as the Centennial State, but it's also known for its Rocky Mountains. The Olympics are something that needs to be showcased in the Rocky Mountains. It would be awesome to be able to host the Olympics in front of and in the Rocky Mountains. If you have ever come to Denver, you notice that you have the Rocky Mountains aligning. It is awesome. And if you watched my snow videos showing the snow in Denver, you look out in the distance. I'm not sure, John, I'm not sure about the cost of living, but it is high. It is pretty high up there. But, for something temporary like the Winter Games, something that, we need to improve is the I-70 corridor from Denver into the mountains, at least to Vail, or farther than that. The I-70 corridor is 4 lanes, 2 going west, 2 going east, and there's a lot of congestion on I-70. That's the one thing they need to improve. I can tell, being on I-70 myself, that it does need improvement. Now, another thing that Denver has been doing is what's called fast tracks. And it is something that RTD, who is in charge of all the transportation throughout the Denver and up to Colorado Springs and into the mountains, is they have expanded their light rail tremendously. I mean, let me go in here and I'll tell you about all the transportation. Hey, Von Hook, how you doing? Let me tell you about all the transportation. RTD. I want to do something and do the map of RTD. I don't know if y'all know, but the old Union Station, okay? The old Union Station in Denver, that has been remodeled now. And it's impressive. I went down there this past year, and it is impressive. It is really impressive. And, it is just, oh man, it is impressive, you guys. I'm trying to get, hold on, light rail. Local, for fares, there's the A line, which is Union Station to Denver International Airport. There's the B line, which is Union Station kind of northwest. It goes up to Westminster. And then the C line, which Union Station, the C, D, E, F, H, and L lines are all going south. You know, there's so many train and light rails in Denver. There's a lot. And, you know, that's what's called the fast tracks. Well, really the C through the R lines. The C line is Union Station to Littleton, which is Mineral Station. The D line is 18th California Station to Littleton. The E line is Union Station to Lincoln Station. You know, there's a lot of there's a southwest line and a southeast line. I mean, and they're trying to expand a northern line. You know, I live on the northeastern part of Denver, of the Denver Metro, and they're expanding the tracks north because we have no light rail up north. We have no light rail whatsoever. And really, it's only like, 30 minutes? Well, no. More like 20 minutes from the train station to Brighton, where I live. And it's pretty interesting. Von Hook says, do you think Reno can host the Winter Olympics? I don't think so. You know, I don't think so at all. So, John Mark said, I would rather live in the Rocky Mountains than Vegas. I hate Vegas, now thanks to the Raiders owner Mark Davis. Right, I agree. You know, I love the Rocky Mountains. You know, every morning I get to wake up, go outside, and look at the Rocky Mountains. Oh, it is so awesome, you guys. Oh my goodness. You know, if you ever come and live in Denver, you'll know what I'm talking about. It is so awesome. Really awesome to see the Rocky Mountains. This is something iconic that everybody along the Front Range and in the Denver Metro, you get to see every day of your life. You know, if somebody's born in Denver and lives through their entire life, you get to see it every day. And John Mark says, you need light rail, and I bet it's awesome. It is so awesome, John. Oh my goodness, it's so awesome. And yeah, we do need light rail up north. You know, it is just so amazing. The Olympics is something that needs to be hosted. You know, there's so many iconic hotels. They're building a large hotel near the airport that I think would be good, I guess. You know, Denver, a place that, you know, gone the Olympics in 1976. You know, they went to Austria. But now Denver's gotten economically better, travel better, or commuting better, you know, sort of. I mean, there's still a couple of interstates that still need to be worked on, but I think they'll get it done. I mean, it will be done by the time they host the Olympics. And Von Hook says Denver would be a good place to host the Winter Olympics. It would. I mean, there's so many things that are awesome. And, you know, it would be a great thing for Denver. And to answer your question, John, no, they haven't. That's why I'm so I'm so interested in the Olympics in Denver. Because they tried before, but environmentalists and politicians didn't like the idea, and they got awarded it, and then in 1970 they said, no, we can't host again. We can't host. And I think that's one thing that's hurt Denver, and that Denver needs. I think if they host the Olympics, they would be able to get the Super Bowl. It'd be a great chance when they get after the Olympics are done to get the Super Bowl in Denver. Both events are just so amazing. And Winter Olympics, I want to go to the Olympics. And to maybe have it in my hometown, a place where I'm growing up, where I grew up. There's John says, can we write to the Olympic Games Committee about getting Denver to host the Olympic Winter Games? Denver's already working on it. They're working on it. They have a committee right now made up of 35 members who are looking at, can we host? One thing that happened before in 1970 was they did public money. The money that will be going towards the Olympic Games is going to be all private. We're going to try and get minimum minimal taxpayer money. Because that's what happened before. We were trying to get taxpayer money and it didn't work. So I think if we do private funding, I think it will work. We just have to get the private funding. We have to. If we can't get the private funding, then it's a no-go. We can't do it. Vaughn says Salt Lake City is bidding for the 2030 Winter Olympics. Right. And that's one thing. Another thing that Denver has to compete with is they have to compete with Salt Lake City, because Salt Lake City's already Denver's already Salt Lake City's already hosted, but Denver hasn't. I think I heard something. I read something today, or was it yesterday? Rick Rice says, you guys doing live streams at the same time? Come on, man. Hey, I want to get up early tomorrow morning and watch the Olympic ceremony. So that's why I'm doing it early, or trying to get it done. So, and I figured, this is something to talk about. The Olympic Committee, International Olympic Committee, said that they want to do it in places where it will have future impact on the city. And I think if Denver does get back again, after, we're going to have economical growth. What do you mean about opening ceremonies? Salt Lake City did the opening and close, or no, they haven't done the opening ceremony yet. That will be happening at 4 o'clock my time in the morning. So I'm trying to get done so I can go to bed and wake up early and watch the Olympic opening ceremony. So no, they haven't done it yet. There'll be a taping of it, or they'll tape it and show it tomorrow night if you want to watch that. So, but I plan on getting up early and watching it tomorrow morning. So that's why I kind of have to go to bed here soon. But, this is something that needs to happen. Denver is a great city, great town, and, it will have positive economical growth, a lot of economical growth. Something that Denver desperately needs. And they're also, I know, trying for Amazon. And, I think for Denver to get the Winter Olympics, I think they need to, I don't know. I can't think. They need to, I can't think. Oh, great. I lost my train of thought now. Great. They've wanted to host before. They've tried before, but International Olympic Committee passed them up. Thank you, John, for saying that. I appreciate it. Denver's had tried to get it before. They haven't. And I think this would be a great chance. They're going to try again. They're going to try and get an Olympic bid. If the U.S., the U.S. Olympic Committee is actually located here in Denver, here in Colorado. They're actually located in Colorado Springs, which I didn't know. This is where we have the Olympic Training Center, and this is where the U.S. Olympic Committee is. And I think because they are in Denver, I think they might go for Denver a little bit more. And, if we express to the U.S. Olympic Committee and to the International Olympic Committee saying, this is our plan, all they really need is voters. I love to try again. I am going to vote for it. If, we do a bid, it goes to the International Committee and they give us the chance again, you better hope we all vote yes, or I hope we all vote yes to get it here, because this is something that Denver desperately, I think, needs. And they desperately need it. They're already an international city. And the Rocky Mountains are already used every day for Olympic training, for winter and summer, I think. And it would have a lot of impact. I said before, the International Committee wants to, want somebody who will have future growth. And the future growth is economic. Transportation. We'll get our transportation back together. You will have better roads, not bigger roads, but, better roads. There's a lot that comes with the impact, the great impact that it will come after the Olympics. I think Denver will definitely benefit from. Some of my friends from my church said they don't want them because of I-25, because of traffic. And I said, okay, what about I-25? They're working on I-25 every day. They're doing construction. They're widening I-25 right now, and which is great, because I-25 is a great interstate. It goes right past Denver. But yes, it does need to be improved, and I think that is one of the things that should be in the Olympic plan is to, work on I-25. And it's something that Denver really needs. I know y'all don't live in Colorado, but Colorado would be a great city to host. They've never hosted before. They tried. They got it. They rejected it. And they need it badly. They really need the Olympics. So, I mean, they really need it. It's a given. They need it. One thing I'm concerned is I-75. Vaughn says I live in California. Right. The only parts that have mountains and snow is Northern California. I mean, Denver is a great city to host. Yes, I know Salt Lake City has hosted, they have all the facilities, but again, Denver hasn't yet, and Denver needs future impact. This would definitely have future impact. Definitely. I mean, really. It's definitely gonna have future impact. So, I mean, really. So, I don't know. We'll see what happens, but those who watch after, I'd like to know. Tell me. I'd love to know. What are your thoughts? Should Denver host? Which other city could host besides Salt Lake City? So, I'd like to know. You can, leave a comment below after this video goes up. Let me know. I'd love to know. It's awesome. It would be a great thing. So, I'd like to know. I am gonna go to bed now. Thank you, Vaughn, for sticking around, and all of those in the chat for sticking around and watching. I need to go to bed now so I can get up early in the morning and head to bed. Or watch the Olympic ceremony. So I will talk to y'all. Have fun. See y'all. And like always, go Raiders! No problem, John Marks. No problem. You're welcome. Have fun, y'all. We'll see y'all later. Zennie! I'm leaving! Oh. I'm leaving. Oh boy. I will talk to y'all later. Comment down below, should Denver host the Olympics? Should Denver host? So, let me, comment down below and should Denver host? I'll talk to y'all later and go Raiders.